Open your mouth. Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go.
What up, what up? You already know, your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog of the Yard. Today we got Wise Money in the building. From Chicago, moved to Jersey. Got into a lot of trouble in school. Got kicked out multiple, schools, as a troubled child, as a young boy. And I can relate to him. And with that being said, let's get right into it, man. You already know, it's your boy Pistol Pete, Dog of the Yard. What up, what up? You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog in the Yard. Today we got Wise Money in the building. What up, Wise? How you doing, bro?
How you?
Peace, brother.
Everything's great, man.
How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
I see
Honored
you,
to be
man.
here.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you
with the
being
great
here.
Pistol Pete.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, definitely, man. Got to rep the boys,
Representing your
man.
set.
Yeah. We got to take them Steelers down today, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah,
I'm not into football and all that.
Nah.
I'm not into, I like basketball.
I got into it, in the journey, man.
In the journey,
Yeah,
huh?
I watch it in passing, but now I'm like, I was always a Bears fan because my mother told me I was a Bears fan, so I was a Bears fan. But,
Off top.
Yeah, but I didn't really have the patience to sit and watch through a game.
Yeah. Now you can do that.
Yeah, now I can
do it
that.
too, though.
Yeah.
But I'm not crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh
Like,
no, I'm not this crazy for now. I watch my first take.
I'm a
if I
Giants
miss
fan
game.
and shit,
Yeah. I'm a Sports Center guy, man. I'm the Sports Center fanatic. So
that's
I get
cool.
all my knowledge from Sports Center.
I get it.
Sometimes I don't watch a game. I can catch the recap.
I got you.
So yeah, I ain't really going hard at the sports thing like that either.
So yeah, Wise, for those people out there, you know what I mean, that don't know you and shit, you know what I mean, tell us a little bit about, your upbringing, if you have your parents both on your life, siblings, and where you from.
Yeah.
Take it from there.
No doubt. Definitely didn't have both parents in the life. Had somebody who played as a father figure, off and on, whatever was transpiring with the relationship between him and my mom. But it was just always my mom and my two siblings. My dad, he from Chicago, and I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
And came to Jersey, came to Pittsburgh first when I was about 5 or 6, then came to Jersey when I was about 7. So yeah. Jersey City.
Where?
I came to Jersey City.
Okay.
Was over there for a while, got family over there.
Okay.
And then I went to New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay.
And then that's where, my mom actually settled, because we moved a lot of different places in between that. But the major places I lived, born in Chicago, came to Pittsburgh, came to Jersey City, then ended up in New Brunswick. And
okay.
Yeah, so
and that's where you at now?
No, I'm actually in North Jersey now. I'm back up north.
Okay.
I was actually back in Jersey City for a while, but now I'm back up north. Yeah.
Okay. Are you the oldest?
No. I'm the youngest actually. I got an older brother and a sister. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 3 of you guys.
Yeah. Yep. I got siblings on my dad's side too, but I
Okay.
don't really know them like that from not having a relationship with him.
Yeah. I
You
get
know,
it.
naturally, I don't really have a relationship with them like that. So yeah. That type of situation.
Yeah, so how was it? I mean, being raised, your mom's, no dad involved, you know what I'm saying, on and off, you know what I mean? Like, where you was getting your discipline from, like where?
From her, man. From her. As best she could, as best she could. That was the 80s. I was born in 77. So that was 70s going into the 80s. So, my mom's single.
You young, man.
Yeah. I'm 48. And, my mom's single at that time, she didn't have no parents of her own. So there was, at 24, 25, however old she was having me,
right.
There's really no guidance there. She got 3 kids and she trotting around the globe because there's no home base for her.
Right.
A lot of times people have, You know, I hear a lot of stories. People had their grandmother.
Right.
People had their grandfather. You know, and that was important, man, especially for the parents of those people, right?
Right.
You get some situations where dudes would be like, nah, my grandparents raised, my mom was there, but my grandparents raised me type
Right.
thing. My mom didn't have that luxury. She ain't had nobody to call on. So I found us in, you know, whether it was Chicago or Ohio or Pittsburgh, we were very nomadic, man. We had to keep it moving. So, you know, in that, obviously, if she keeping it moving, there was no money around, lack of funding and resources in the 80s.
Of course, this
You
is
know.
back in the days.
Yeah,
It was
man.
really
Cheese
tough.
van pulled up on the corner. You remember that?
Trust me, I
mean?
know.
Yeah, so, you know, it was that
The
era.
ghetto of the Bronx.
Yeah.
So I already know how that shit is.
Yeah, I done
That cheese
seen
was
it
good
all.
at that,
That cheese was good, man.
right?
In fact, that
Is
was
that the same cheese they got at the delis, man?
Nah, they faking now.
They
They done changed it all now.
Yo, we used
I
to-
don't know what they put that cheese. That cheese
That's
was
a-
serious back there. That block
that's a
of
fact.
butter.
Yeah.
And then there was people down there that wasn't even on welfare, quote unquote, down there getting that stuff too on the corner. Yeah, so I come from that, man. And you know, I lived in foster homes. It got a point where moms needed some help, like just
Right.
give me a break so I could get my kids in a place. So I've been through that type
Okay.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Different schools, never settled in one school where you grow up in that school and you know all the teachers and you come back and everybody know you. I don't have that story, you know, because too
That
much
shit's so
moving.
crazy because you telling me that right there, and it's the same. It's almost like my life story. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't had no teacher that I could remember to say, "Oh, Miss Brown from."
yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah.
I was shipped to many schools and getting in trouble and shit.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, it's nothing there to actually step in and say, you know, what's going on with this kid. But going through all of that stuff, you know, it shows up in school, you know. I'm in school, I'm stealing, I'm bullying, I'm doing whatever I could do, you know.
Yeah, you out of
Little,
control.
little urban kid, little city kid. You know,
Yeah.
at home, it's you know, when you young, you blind to certain things. You innocent to certain things. Like you could feel things ain't all good, you
Right.
know, getting woken up in the middle of the night, come on, we gotta go, you at somebody else's joint. But then, you know, you also know that something ain't right.
Right.
You know? Especially when you being deprived, you know. Some nights the meals were thin, some nights they weren't there.
True.
And that was early, but my mother's a lion though, because she never got high. You know what that meant, bro? In the 80s for somebody to be that down and out. Most people we know was down like that was getting high.
Yeah, they turned to drugs
Man,
and shit.
if she would have turned to drugs, that would have been it. I don't know where I would be right now. You see what I'm saying? Never turned to that, never was an alcoholic. You know, she smoked a lot, but that was about it. You know what I'm saying? But always, no matter what, tried to keep me in shit though, you know.
Right.
Baseball, whatever it was, because she was athletic.
Okay.
You know, and she kept me in shit. But
So what transpired? Like when you started getting yourself into
it was after I got to
trouble and
New
all that
Brunswick.
and-
It was when I got to New Brunswick. You know, Jersey City was a little too turned up to like just get in trouble. It was already trouble there. It's like you trying to, you know, I'm still who I am. I didn't really come into the character of being the little bad kid in school or nothing yet. That happened when I, you know, got to New Brunswick about 8, 9 years old. You know, I'm coming from a bigger city, moving to a smaller one, you know. And then my mom moved to a side of town that was a little more toned down. So when we actually got there, coming from Jersey City was dirty as hell back then.
Yeah.
So coming from there and then going to New Brunswick, it was like, oh shit, I see like manicured lawns and shit.
Right.
And then we moved into an apartment. I'm like, oh shit. Like I said, my mom go get her. So we ended up getting into a good spot, you know. Me and my brother had our own room. What you talking about?
Oh, y'all got focus.
Yeah, she got focus. You feel me? So now we in New Brunswick, but I'm still his kid though. Like that first 7, 8 years is you can't forget that. You and by that time I've been in 2 foster homes, bro. I got kicked out of.
So you was already in 2 foster homes.
Yeah, by then that shit stopped. By the time we got to New
Why
Brunswick,
you ended up in 2 foster homes?
because I told you it got so bad for my mom. She needed to do something different. Like back then, for somebody with no education, my mom ain't had no education. She went back, got her high school diploma, and she went and got a little bullshit job. But in order to do that, she needed some help with us. We ain't had no family here.
I understand.
Most of our family on her side is either in Newark. I don't know why she ran from Newark, but we weren't going to Newark. right? and she ain't want to go back to Ohio. My father's people was in Chicago. We definitely ain't going back there. You know, I'm pretty sure Chicago back then was something different. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
so now we get to New Brunswick. All of that is over. She done figured out. She did her homework and figured out she could move us about 50 minutes away. And in Jersey, 50 minutes away, that's like you pass like 20 different towns coming from Jersey City to New Brunswick.
It's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people may look at that like 50 minutes. No, 50 minutes, I'm really away from Jersey City.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So she moved on this one side of town and is looking a little laid back, right? But again, I'm coming with this debris on me. You know, I was in one foster home and the people was drunks. I escaped from the motherfucker and left, right?
You AWOL.
One I got kicked out of because I was stealing. The lady used to send me to the store. I used to steal her money. God bless her. She was a good person too. But this was back when I was young.
of
I'm
course.
6. I'm 7. You sending me to the store with $20. Listen,
Outta here.
I'm buying garbage pail
My mom,
kid cards.
my mom used to hit me up with some money, be like, go to the store, and I come back a month later.
Yeah.
My mom. So I understand. I get it.
No doubt. So now, you know, I'm doing this. The other people that after I got kicked out of her crib, they sent me to these other 2 people, and they actually was a little well off. They had a house in Atlantic City, all this shit. But I was staying with 2 other kids there, and they used to go to Atlantic City every weekend. So I got tired of them. They be drunk as hell. They never hit us or no shit like that, but they'd get drunk and just talk crazy like they was 2 drunk people together. But they looked like, on the allure was they had money, 2, 3 cars. He got the tool shed. They was older. Man, one night I went.
They was like functional alcoholics or some shit.
One night I told my man, I said, yo, I'm about 6, probably 7 at the time, just turned 7. I said, yo, I'm about to spend the night at your house tonight. So my man down the street, he had one of them houses he raised by his grandmother. Mother there, but ain't there. Everybody in the house. So I'm like, all right, cool. I go spend the night without permission. I come back. These people went to Atlantic City without me. That's the type of shit we went through in the 80s. You got these kids now, Pete, they can't even go to the corner store without a tracking device on them, bro. You see what I'm saying? I walked across the whole Jersey City to go get to my mother. She said, how you get here? What are you doing? Somebody dropped you off? I said, nah, they in Atlantic City. They left me. 7, bro. Picture that. You can't even picture your nephew, niece being left somewhere at 7 right now.
Hell no.
You see what I'm saying? That's how we come up, though.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it was then.
No, that's how it was.
And so I ended up staying with my mom then. So that's how we got to New Brunswick. But what I wanted to point out, she moved to one side of New Brunswick. That was cool. But then we left that apartment and went to the other side. And I said, oh, this is more like it. Now I get to it. It's a whole hood in New Brunswick. You know, they jokers getting down in New Brunswick. I'm like, wow, small town, but very tough. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is over here. And we always seem to move around the corner from the action, man. or on the block. Like in Jersey City, we lived on the blocks.
Incredible.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we get this new spot, and I'm right around the corner from the action. So I come with that debris on me, you know, of the experiences that you get coming up. I'm like, okay, I like it out there, you know. So that's where it started, man, and the whole journey of being rebellious in school and you know, all of that just started then, man.
So when you caught your first
15, I caught my first case. 14, I caught my first case for stealing.
That was your first run-in with the cops?
Yeah, that was my first run-in for
Okay.
boosting. Second time, I got arrested at 16. I was about to turn 17. And they was trying to, in Jersey, they got what you call waive your hearing. They try to waive you up as an adult. So I got caught with a gun and some weed. And that was my first.
At 17?
No, I'm lying. 16, I got caught with a stash coming out the backyard. And what's crazy is that was my first time ever hustling. Soon as I got the pack from the old head that gave it to me, God rest his soul, still was my man till he died. He gave me the pack, bro. I stashed it. I walked out the backyard, and the police rolled up on me. Man, listen. So they get out, they get me or whatever. This is my first experience. So they like, what you doing? I said, I was taking a piss. They said, yeah, that's all you was doing? I said, yeah. They said, so when we go back here, you ain't got nothing back here? I said, hell no. So one of them held me there. It went back. So they said, you ain't got nothing back here? I said, nah. They said, matter of fact, which one of these stashes is yours? This one, that one, this one. They start pulling out a bunch of stashes. I said, that one right there. You ain't about to put all that shit on. That one right there, mine.
Yeah, all these shits ain't mine.
Nah, all of them ain't mine. Because you know jokers on the corner, that one alley. I don't know. I'm just out there. You know what I mean? And that was my first time. I was actually 16 years. I just turned 16. Then later that year, I caught the gun and the drugs.
Okay.
Because, you know, the first one, they take you to police station, call my mom. Yeah, son got caught with cocaine, write me up. And then I got to go to court. And I actually got probation. Then I got caught again with the gun and the weed. Now they trying to wave me up because I got the other case. I'm on probation.
I got you.
So that's where it all started right there, man. That's where it all started. Just being on the corner, you know, getting chased off the corner by the older guys, seeing that shit and, you know, admiring it for some reason, you know, just feeling like it was something there that wasn't at home, you know, and not that no love wasn't home, but validation was out there, right? Because I realized we all out there with the same issues in a different manner, right? And we go to that corner where we can be somebody, right? And that's why when we get it, if we get a fresh car, we don't go outside that element. Because we don't feel like we could be somebody outside that element, you know? And that's one of the things, man. I always ask myself, like, what really made you gravitate towards that? What were they doing that you seen? Because, you know, people always think everybody run to the streets because of money. I hustle because of money. I needed that money. Or it was a hardship at home. Some people, that may be some people's story,
right?
You know? But that wasn't my story. And that wasn't the story of a lot of guys I know. The story of a lot of guys I know, they saw the allure without seeing no money. Who's showing you money?
Yeah, because that wasn't even about money.
Yeah,
I was outside.
Ain't nobody take me in the house and show me $500,000.
No bullshit.
No, I seen somebody with a car. I seen somebody playing dice. I seen them looking important. I seen all the pretty girls pull up and hang around.
True.
That's what I saw, you know. So I think even for that, like having that place that you could go to, and when you pull up, they like, oh, yo, there go Sam, there go Pete. You know,
true.
That's how it started out for me being young, because you know we was getting chased off the corners. Then they didn't really want us hanging there like that. You know,
that's how it was back in the days.
And then one of my homies end up, you know, hanging with the old head. You like, why he hanging with such and such so much, man? And you find out, oh, he done got a shot. They done brought him in. Now you looking like, what's the difference in him and me? I gotta go choose that dude. You know what I'm saying? Nah, y'all get out. They still telling us get out of here. You know, and it's just stuff like that, man. But that's really how it happened for me, man. Being intrigued with what was going on around the corner.
True.
You know, not really finding nothing in school that I could grab onto. Nothing about school interested me.
That's a fact. Me too.
You know, like nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Trust me, I can relate, man. I didn't find nothing interested either.
And ironically, I didn't start catching them cases till I dropped out of school, though. I mean, okay. I had the boosting charge at 14, but I caught the charges after I dropped out of school. And again, you know, I got kicked out of probably every school I went to, and you know, just doing shit, defiant, disrespectful, you know, don't want to be there.
Crazy.
You know, driving my mother crazy. She in all type of meetings all the time for me and shit. Yep. You know, and that's the flip side to it. We don't see it till we get old. I dragged that woman around.
Yeah, me too. I did the same thing too.
Yeah,
all kind of schools.
Yeah,
then when I went to jail, all kind of jails.
Then the woman had the nerve to she
I went to jail, all kind of jails.
Yeah, all kind of jail. And then the woman had the nerve, right, Pete, when she started getting a little bread, I think she started working at the post office, and she had the nerve to try to send me to Catholic school. What are you doing that? Why are you spending money on me, Ma? What do you mean? I go to Catholic school.
So crazy. I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, I got kicked smooth out. Me and one of my mans in there. You know, he ended up being one of the biggest gang members of Jersey at one time. And me, I ended up going off catching Fed charges, selling drugs and all. Like, Ma, why you do that? You know? I couldn't understand. Why you put me in a uniform? Like, after all of this, you think I want a uniform?
Yeah, yes.
You know, so she tried, you know.
Yeah, she called me. Mom's what was going to do. Shout out to Moms.
Shout out to Moms.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to her. And
shout out to all moms. You know what I'm saying? For all the bullshit they put up and shit with their kids.
And even the ones that couldn't be there for some reason.
Yeah.
Shout out to them too.
Of course.
Because we know we come from it and we know everybody got a story. You look at somebody and you see you know, that they may be struggling with something, but you got to get the backstory.
Yeah,
to
you
that.
never really, you know what I mean? So many people definitely, you know, that's why you're right. Shout out to every mom, because a lot of people just, it was easy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Lack of education. Education is everything.
Especially for us in our era, bro.
Yeah.
We ain't had none of this stuff
No,
now.
we didn't have all these technology, everything
No,
that we
in
got now.
fact,
It's easy for these kids. Now they can
but-
get a job in the house.
Yeah, but the mode of how we function in this country wasn't the same.
True.
Like a lot of the opportunities that's here now just wasn't there.
Oh,
then.
no, it wasn't there.
Like it just wasn't there then. Like
All these jobs
yeah,
and shit.
the disparities were blatant then.
Yeah.
They were blatant. Now they hide them.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's less.
Uh-huh.
There's less now. You know, back then you weren't gonna have no DEI arguing with Target, talking about what Target don't want to put black. That wasn't happening in the 80s. See, we have those opportunities now to raise our voice in that manner. So it was
Facts.
rough for our moms then.
Of course.
You know, especially a
course.
woman with no education.
No education, no support and shit
Women
like that.
complaining now about the workspace and how they ain't getting certain positions.
Facts.
So my mother she couldn't do the diner. She said, I gotta go back to school and do something, you know. So that's what she did. And shout out to her, you know.
Absolutely. Shout out to mom.
But that's really when the journey started, man. Like dropping out of school.
So when you caught your case, let's talk about that.
Well, I did my first. That case as a juvenile kind of spilled over because what I did is I did get waived up as an adult, but they waited until I was 18 to send me to, or no, they tried to send me to a program, a drug program. And I said, cool. So I only chose to go to the program so I can escape. So I escaped from the program. Now I'm home from 17 to like 19 until they caught me. So that's when I really started getting into the streets when I was on the run. That's when I really was, you know, going over to Broadway and all of that. And that's when I seen my first first whole joint, you know, around that time, you know. And then they caught me, but it was a slap on the wrist. You know, I got the escape charge. I think they had caught me with a little bit of weed. So they ended up giving me in Jersey what they call a 4 flat. So a 4 flat means you do 3 months off every year, right? So I only got 9 months to come home. So I take this program called ISP, and it gets worse for me. Why? I take ISP knowing I don't plan on doing ISP. I'm just trying to get home. ISP say you do 6 months, you get home, you finish ISP, you don't have no parole, no nothing. I ain't know ISP was like that, intense supervision program. So now I'm on this program. I'm still coming home. I'm going to the tunnel. I'm still hustling, but I'm hustling late night, right? I'm moving around late night because I got a curfew. I had to be in the house every day from work to house, program, 6 o'clock, you in the house. So in the midst of going through all that, I'm still running around. And that's where that situation kind of spilled over into, because I violated that program. Before violating it completely, they'll like sit you back in jail. So that's when I got my first taste of the county as an adult. From 19,
He was 18.
20, yeah, like 19, 20
Okay.
to about 22, 23. I was back and forth in the county because of this program I decided to take, and I kept violating. Never no dirty yarns. It's just this tunnel years. P, we talking 96, 97. So I'm not in the house. 12 o'clock, I'm getting caught. I'm out, everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking, still doing, you know.
Yeah.
Only thing I wasn't doing was smoking because I know that show up in your urine, right? So they finally sat me down and made me max out the time. I had 9 more months to do. So then that's when I came home, and from that time, I was home just...
You went back to the county?
Yeah, I went back to the county.
What county was that?
Middlesex County in New Jersey.
How was that?
It's laid back. I mean, back then, you know, in my town is small. It's separated uptown, downtown, right? And uptown beef with downtown. So I'm from uptown. Not no more. That's boiled over.
Yeah.
Ain't the same city no more.
Right.
But back then it was real heavy. You know. So when you come in the county, you got to worry about that. Or we had Perth Amboy next to us. You know Perth Amboy.
No.
Perth Amboy, New Jersey. That's like another New Brunswick. That's like the next city that's the size of New Brunswick.
Okay.
But it's like all Puerto Rican back then. So obviously, you know, the Nietas like Kings is in there. So
was
yeah,
all in the building.
you get your sauce. It wasn't as rough as some spots that I heard of or been
Right.
to, but you definitely
got
gonna
you.
get your issue. And anybody from out of town always got their issue because you got that proven fact that God's got. Oh yeah, where you from?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? That type of
So
thing.
you
But
went back and did 9 months.
I went back and did the 9 months. I maxed that out. I got out. And then that's when the journey really started. Now I'm out
when
there.
when you came back.
I came back in 2006. 2006, I did my first state bid, Bayside State Prison. And they sent me to somewhere like, you know, all the old heads because in Jersey, they send you to Central Reception first, which is in Trenton at the time. It's like the psychiatric ward of Trenton. They use that for holding for people who get sentenced from the county. And then
Now, how was that?
it's terrible. It looked like a sane asylum, like some shit on Batman. That's where Max B was down. He was in Trenton.
Okay.
That place looked like a hellhole, man. Like one of them old jails, like on a movie.
Yeah, like a real old shit.
Rusty bars and
Yeah. How the guards, how the COs, how they treated you?
Oh no, they vicious. They vicious.
No, because I only
They
asked
call them
'cause,
20. They call them 20 boots in craft.
like up north.
Craft stand for Central Reception.
Okay.
Right. 20 boots. 20 boots mean that. So it's and to make it so bad, this was shocked me. I get there, most of the COs are black, right? And they got women working there. You say something to them women, they vicious. Like they vicious. Don't say nothing. Don't play. Don't play. 20 boots mean that 10 people gonna come and just handle you, get you out of there. And most likely, you don't see the person when they bring them out no more. Like you don't even see him no more. Like yo, where he go? Why they ain't bring him back?
Wow.
Yeah. So craft was different. They set the tone for you for when you get downstate. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I went through craft, and then all the old heads in there, it's my first time in. They telling me, oh, young, you first time, you gonna go to this, you gonna go to that, you gonna be chilling, you gonna get the farm. Man, so now they call you down to wherever they call you and they tell you where you going. So they told me I'm going to Bayside. So I said, yo, how's Bayside? It was like, oh man, last time I was down there, it was cool. Man, I run into another old head. He said, cool. He said, man, Bayside is KKK, locked down. You can't move. I said, man, why they sending me here my first time out? I ain't had no violence. It was all drugs. You see what I'm saying? So I get the Bayside, and it was what they said. Don't play with them white guys down there. Don't play.
As soon
Don't
as you
play.
got
It's
there,
like
you felt
everybody related, all the COs. It's a small town in Jersey. Some people got to take a boat to work because it's down by Cape May. This is all real stuff. So this is the caliber of white person you're dealing with down there.
Yeah.
Like they don't play. You see what I'm saying? Like a few inmates have died at the hands of COs down there.
Wow.
And I've seen them even trick some gang members into damn near killing a boy because he wrote him up. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff, the type of politics that happen in there. You know what I'm saying? And it definitely, for me, I never had a problem navigating my way around no situation, whether it was in the streets or in prison. I don't look soft. I don't look like you could pick on me. And I ain't sticking my nose in stuff it don't belong in. I'm outside. I ain't hiding.
You just had common sense.
Yeah,
that's all.
yeah. I know how to move. Like
how to move, yeah.
Yeah, and especially when I got
Facts.
down there, because the gang stuff had got heavy in Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and when I got down in 2006, I'm new to it. I mean, guys from my neighborhood and stuff coming home, blood or crip or whatever, but I really don't know about it like that, right?
Right.
So I get down there, and I learned quick, because some things I was doing, like, I guess, was out of pocket to them. And, luckily, you always know that one person that is blood that knows somebody, either know you or know somebody that's official that you know.
Right.
So I happened to have that down there. My man was like, yo, watch this and watch that, because these guys over there. And bro, I got down there, I seen a guy that was from my neighborhood, so he was already down there. Now, his cousin's blood, and they on the unit, same unit. So one day we kicking it, and it was another kid that we knew there. And he's talking to some guy who's supposed to be some general or whatever. And we're laughing at him because we knew him. We grew up with him. So the kid thought me coming on a unit like I was clowning him. This is real. This is some real immature preschool shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm in my room. I had just got my commissary, and I'm putting my shit in my locker, right? And somebody walk in the room with a jacket on, and gloves on. Like, yo, you and your man Slim got a problem with me? So I looked up, like, because I was leaning on my lock. I'm like, man, who the fuck is you, man? So he's like, I'm like, fuck, how can I have a problem? I don't know who the fuck you are. He said, nah, I seen you and your man Slim over there. He talk about my man Haas. He talk.
Yeah.
And you and your man Slim over there, y'all think something funny or something? I said, bro, I don't know what the fuck you thinking, but I don't even know what you talking about, homie. So he ended up, I guess he saw, because when I turned around and stood up, like, I got ready, like, what's up, bro? Like, I ain't gonna overreact. But what's up? What are you in this room for?
Yeah, like,
you ain't got no
on?
knife. You ain't got no. What are you in this room for? So, and I'm just getting here. So, come to find out, my man who was a kid that was blood that wasn't gonna let shit happen, bro. These jokers was like 15 deep on each side of I was in a corner cell, on a tier like this, lined up out that room, waiting for some. And the reason why they didn't come in with him, because the kid, my man Hef, shout out to Hef said, yo, nah, if you got something with him, go in there and shoot him in the fade, because I know his people. That's my man.
Okay.
I've been talking to Hef. As soon as we got there, he found out where I was from. You know how it is. Bro, I didn't know, though.
Just based on that.
I didn't know how it worked. You know, the DVDs ain't teach you that. You know what I'm saying? So it was what it was. But after that, I seen how things go, you know. And after, you know, I get acquainted on the pound. Now you got people sending invites to you. Yo, you don't want to come on, we'll give you this. We'll give you this status and this, that. Nah, I'm cool, brother. One thing about me, man, I don't know where I developed it from, but I think it's actually from the corner I come from. I come from a corner of guys that went to trial, fought their own cases, pro se. You know, one of my main man, uncle, he got a famous case where he went and beat him, big case, couple kilos. So that's where I come from. Where I'm from is where Isaac Wright is from.
Okay.
That's where Isaac Wright got caught up at, right? So I come from a corner where dudes are smart.
Right.
And one thing I always say about that corner, I could take that group of people that come from there anywhere on the planet. You see what I'm saying? And you always get that. It's always that crust, that realness or something. But I commend them guys for that one thing. I don't never glorify coming from no block or no corner, not these days. But what I do appreciate from them is if I didn't never get that, I wouldn't be sitting here now, because my last case was federal, and I'm only sitting here because I gave that time back.
Right.
You understand? And my first case that I went to prison for, the Bayside that I'm explaining to you now, I went to trial on that. I didn't know nothing, didn't know why I was going to trial. But again, I was raised by dudes who I heard go to trial. Right. That's all we know, go to trial. So I went to trial. One of my little bros had just went to trial for a body. He beat it. We go to trial. That's what we do. So I get in the feds, and you know, it's the same mode. And if I didn't have that in me, right, I'd still be in there talking about who telling and checking somebody's paperwork.
Yeah.
You know?
You be small-minded thinking about some little shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I caught the Bayside bid. I did 3 years. I came home from the 3 years, and I wanted to change because I had a daughter. My daughter was 7, and I was with her mother. But something in me didn't want to change because the first, see, this is what I learned, and this is why I really wanted to grace this mic on this stage, because it's important, because I know your audience. And as we speaking, somebody going in, somebody coming out.
That's a fact.
And here's what I want to say to them, right? We know when we half-hearted.
Right, talk to them.
Yeah, we know when we half-hearted about changing. We know when we half-hearted. And that first time, 2008, when I came home, I was half-hearted. I just knew that certain things I was doing was going to lead me back out there. I knew it. I was making excuses for myself, like certain individuals, right? So one thing I could say to brothers that's coming home, if you plan on staying home, cut the ties with the individuals. If they still playing, if they still got that mentality, you have to. Because if not, you leaving yourself subject to becoming you again.
Absolutely.
And you could go a lot of different ways. You see what I'm saying?
You could even have a whole different mindset and come home and just be around a certain individuals that they've been doing their thing and all that get caught up.
Bro, it's the energy. It's the energy, right? So, you know, I rap. I always like rapping. I always tried rapping growing up. Although, you know, I played the streets, whatever. I still was a rapper, me and my homeboys, right?
Okay.
And we were good. We were good, you know. And even before I just caught the Fed case, I was rapping.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, and the whole point of going to Pittsburgh, trying to get to the scratch and do the
What?
rap thing instead
That's
of
crazy.
signing with a couple people who would have signed me. I want to be a hard. I needed to be my own boss.
Yeah.
You know, you never know how things gonna work out. It worked out, but you never know at the time. I mean, it could have went a different route, you know, because I definitely had the talent. You know, I think that's how CK found me. He heard the song that I did with my son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, on IG. But yeah, you know, the rapping thing was always something I wanted to do. But I was obviously more in the streets than I was rapping.
You wasn't serious about it.
Nah, I mean, serious to the point where I make the rap so we could listen to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was a point, you know, actually my brother said here was my manager. It was actually a point where I actually took it serious, you know.
Wow.
Had a real business, had a real label, and was still more street than I was that. Because
still
at the
was
end
running
of
the
the
streets.
Yeah, because if you out there and you listening to this, the goal of turning the money into the label, it don't happen often, and it probably won't happen for you. If you rapping, rap. If you rapping, go get a job and rap.
That's it.
Nobody cares no more. The biggest rapper in the world is Drake. Second biggest one is Kendrick Lamar. They had jobs.
They had
Nobody
jobs.
cares.
That's right. Nobody cares.
Go get a job.
Yeah, that's
Stop living in
that
your
is so
own
fucking
lives.
real, though.
Stop
You hear
living
me?
in your own lives.
That is so real though, because these I tell myself we stop from interviewing like guys that come here and when you ask them what they doing at the end, like what you doing? Oh, I'm rapping. No, we don't. That's not a promising job.
That's not a job.
That's not a job,
That's
buddy.
not a job at all.
You gotta have a job first.
That's
You
a
gotta-
dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. It might be a hobby.
Because first of all, rapping ain't making money no more.
A craft, your craft.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, but you ain't making no money, it's not a job.
No, it's not even making money anymore. The rappers are making money off everything but rap right now.
Facts.
So like you got to get a job. And another thing is, you know, I just was more in that character than I was the rap character.
Yeah, I get you.
And
yeah.
then there was nobody coming from where I come from. We're off the radar. So there is nobody. And there's a couple people from my town that's like big people in the music industry.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mention their names, but it's a few people from my town that's heavy in the industry. I'm talking about heavy. And they still, you know, they see you doing whatever, they know whatever, but ain't nobody just coming to grab you and do you no favors, man.
Nah.
Anytime somebody grab you and do anything for you, it's because they see a benefit in it themselves.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And I guess they didn't see the
So
benefit in dealing with me at the time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't just rapping. I had my whole city on my back. Like I could get 500 people wherever I needed them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And back then, as a matter of fact, our metric was Terror Squad. We gotta be ready for Terror Squad, man. We see Terror Squad, man. We gotta be 500 strong. Them Terror Squad dudes be tearing
boys
shit
be
up.
heavy.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta be
yeah.
5. What we used to say, Chuck, we gotta be ready. Niggas in the gym and everything, Pete.
What?
Like, yo, listen.
That's crazy.
Listen. But nah, all jokes aside, like, it's funny because that's how we think, right?
Yeah.
That's how we think with that shit, right? Like, there ain't nobody doing shit. That ain't even about that. We supposed to be artists, right? What are we
Facts.
doing? We bring so much of that
Yeah,
street
yeah.
shit with us, man,
Yeah,
that
you gotta leave that shit back.
you got to. You got to. And the
You
ones
wanna-
that was able to do that and navigate that, you know, hats off to them, man.
Yeah.
Because that ain't an easy task. So many of my homies are still stuck in yesterday, bro.
Facts.
You know, and even with some people coming home, you know, some legends coming home in the streets and all of that stuff, you know.
People be stuck, man.
Yeah, I'm you know,
know?
I got the honor to watch Akbar Prey come home. And I seen him come home, and I was watching to see how he come home from Newark. And I love the way he came home, because right out of the gate, when all them people from Newark there to go see him and celebrate him, he said, it's not a time for celebration to me. I got a lot of undoing to do. He said, I got a lot of things I got a mission now. And he's been on it ever since. And you talking about one of the biggest dudes to ever do it in our culture. You feel what I'm
Facts.
saying?
That's right.
So if he could do it, people need to take notes of that.
Of course.
You know, it was done. It was there. But what is there to celebrate? You know? Because I realized, you know, we put so much into something that anybody can do. You know, when I was in there, you know, I caught the Fed case, and 2013, right? Going up to Pittsburgh.
That's when you went back.
Yeah. No, I got out in 2008. I was out for 5 years. I caught another case in Jersey. I was facing 20 years in there for manufacturing and some other shit.
Okay.
And I had two homeboys that was rocking and rolling up in Pittsburgh. So they said, yo, we know you rapping, come on up, you know, let's see what this Pittsburgh thing about. So I go up there, and Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh, you know. It's a whole lot of shit to get into up there, especially for Jersey and New York people. We're like welcome with open arms. It's you know, retarded how it is, you know. So I go up there, and that's when I catch the Fed case. Okay. Something I never thought I'd do. I always used to watch dudes who catch multiple cases and interstate cases. I used to be like, man, that ain't gonna never be me. Here I am catching a case in Pittsburgh, a Fed case, on top of having one in one of the worst counties you want to have a case in New Jersey, which is Middlesex. In a town you don't want to have a case in, which is New Brunswick, because it's very politically controlled and law enforcement controlled. You see what I'm saying?
So you lucky to make it out of there.
Yeah, the police there go to every hearing there.
Shit.
They gonna get in there. Hell no, we ain't letting Pete out. Give Pete a $200,000 bail. They down there controlling the board like that.
Wow.
So I got that case in Jersey. Now I caught this monster up in Pittsburgh. I was only up there 6 months. It's like one of them dreams where you ever had one of them dreams where you about to do something you always wanted to do but you can't do in real life, and as soon as you're about to do it, you wake up.
Yep. That
was that one.
So you went out there and got caught with what?
Got caught with a kilo of heroin in a hotel in Steubenville, Pennsylvania, right outside of Pittsburgh. Come to find out, that hotel 10 years ago, somebody killed 2 state troopers and got himself killed there. He got caught with 4 birds of heroin. So I don't, like, I'm out there moving and don't even know the lay of the land. I'm at a hotel that when I finally get, when they catch me and lock me up, I'm talking to dudes, and dudes like, what are you doing at that hotel?
Yeah, that shit have history.
They said, man, Loco killed 2 state troopers over there.
Wow.
Like, what? I didn't know, you know? So, you know, I catch the case. At first, they came in with a state presence, right? But the whole time it was a wiretap case. And that's one of the major things that I was able to get back on.
Okay.
So they arrested us in a hotel. They took me to a county jail. Now, mind you, I was supposed to be going for arraignment in New Jersey. So while I'm trying to bail out in Pittsburgh, because they fictitiously gave us a bail, meaning they didn't want us to know it was a federal investigation yet.
Right.
So they gave us bails. I couldn't make my bail. My man made his bail, and then my arraignment came. So now I really couldn't make my bail.
Right.
Because they didn't have no real ID on me at the time. They didn't want to let me go because somehow they was just playing games. Like, we really didn't know what was going on. First of all, we in a new state. Like, you going to the courthouse, I went in like a church, right?
And it's a fast.
And I'm used to just hearing the bell calling the bondsman or something and getting out. They said, nah, you got to do all this other crazy stuff because we don't trust that you're going to come back. So now he ends up getting out or whatever, puts up a house or something and gets out.
And you stay.
And I'm in there, right? So at this time, nobody's indicted by the feds. They keep sending me.
So you just locked up. Right?
Yeah, I'm locked up in Pittsburgh in the county jail, and he gets me a lawyer now because we all think it's state. So he gets, because I told him, I said, yo, just give me a lawyer because I ain't going to be able to make that court date down there. So just give me a lawyer out here. He gets me a lawyer, state lawyer, right? Supposed to be good. And now I'm in the county jail, and they hold federal inmates in their county jail. So I'm on a tier 6D, and it's all murders, parole violations, or feds. That's all that's up there. Armed robbery, stuff like that.
Yeah, like high end.
Yeah, and they got inner city beef, and it's serious. When you come in, you see the dude, they get busy right away. You know, so I'm in a place. I'm in a hostile place. The unit's got like 230 people apiece. They got this one kiosk.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, they got this one kiosk device on the wall in each unit, and from that you order commissary or you look at Nexus Lexus, the law. So that's what I had to. And then at the time when they sat me in the county, I have nothing but an affidavit and what they found in there. But this affidavit is written up crazy. Like they keep saying source of information. So I don't, at the time, again, I don't know. Like I said, I went to trial in the state, just go to trial. I didn't know what was going on. I'm young.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to trial. I'm cool. I went to trial, you know? And but this time is real.
Yeah.
It ain't for a joke now because I'm sitting in here. At the time, I didn't even know I had a federal case. But my man that told me about the hotel told me, he said, listen, because the police desk have a computer down there, and you could go check for warrants with the police or whatever, right? The CO. So he said, bro, if you ever go down there and you see a red sticker that say Marshall Hold, that mean the feds picked your shit up. So you can't really talk to dudes in there too much because, you know, dudes are case hoppers, right?
Right.
And he was warning me because he was from Jersey, but he was living in Pittsburgh.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? He just got sentenced
So he
to
put
like
you
15,
on real quick.
He just got sentenced to 15 years.
Okay.
I'm like, what they give you 15 years for? He like, for drugs. I'm like, that's it? He like, yeah. So I'm learning this. I'm learning to go and rate this 10 years up in this joint, especially in Pittsburgh, Commonwealth, vicious, you know? So I'm hearing everybody talk about 10 years. Some of them coming back to court with 20, you know, for drugs. And it's okay. I see why they do it, the psychology of it, because you come back with 20, but the young boys up there, they facing double life anyway. Everybody in there got tension, bro. And I got to go down here and use this device with 30 jokers trying to order commissary. And then I sit there. I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point because I just got an affidavit.
Right.
But it keeps saying source of information. They got conversations in there that I know they couldn't have heard, that I know nobody else was there. And it's shit missing. They tell. So it was 3 of us out there, right? 2 of us get caught in the hotel. 1 wasn't there. They cousins, 2 Puerto Rican jokers, my sandbox jokers I knew.
Okay.
He wasn't there because he just really did some underhanded shit to his cousin and broke off. He took his own work up to Pittsburgh. So now we got this work coming in. We had to bring this work ourselves. Normally he brings it.
I got you.
And I'm leading you somewhere. So now it's in the affidavit, and we didn't notice that they seen the cousin come up to Pittsburgh. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? I'm reading this affidavit. What do they mean? This such and such name, I ain't gonna say nobody's name, such and such name is in Pittsburgh. And they lost him because they said, what did they say? They said they lost him because he must have this. Like they said they couldn't find him wherever he went in that part of Pittsburgh. They're trying to use this language but not let us know that it was a wiretap the whole time. But I'm seeing this, and this shit is keeping me up at night. And this is all I got at this point. So now one day, they called me 4 o'clock in the morning. They had intercoms in a room, 2-man cells. They said, Drew, pack it up. So I thought they said Rudy. My cellie name was Rudy. I said, yo, Rudy, they calling you. He looking, he said, damn, you still up? I was up every night looking at that fucking evidence. Boy, I couldn't sleep. My inside of me was telling me what the hell is going on, right?
Yeah.
So Rudy went over to the thing. He hit it. He said, did you say Rudy? I said, no, Drew, pack it up. I'm like, pack it up? Where the fuck am I going? And I remember what Jerv said. That's what they was calling him in there. I go down there. I said, you tell me what that computer say? He said, yeah, say Marshall Hold, you out of here. I said, where am I going? He said, the Fed's coming to get you. Bro, it's like I felt the world come down to my shoes. Like, damn.
This shit done got real.
It been 3 months. I haven't even told my daughter, who I pick up from school every single day, where I'm at. Second time I left her, came home, she was 7. I'm thinking about all this, bro.
Yeah, it's tough as shit. It's definitely tough on her. She's like confused where her daddy went at.
She
went out again?
11, about to be 12. And ain't nobody telling her where I'm at. I told them, don't say nothing. Wait till this situation. I'm going to go to court. I'm going to get a bail. I'll come home and tell them myself. Feds come in now. I ain't getting no bail. That's one thing I knew about the feds. One thing I knew, I wasn't getting a bail.
There's no bail there.
I didn't even, you know, how when you in jail, bro, and you in them situations, you think of some of the most astronomical things could possibly happen for you. Maybe they'll lose my paperwork.
All kind of shit can
Yeah,
happen.
all things.
You live on hope.
Bro, I knew I wasn't getting no bail. And that's the only time I cried.
Yeah, shit, it got real.
No. Only time I cried is when my mother finally told me, I'm about to put your daughter on the phone. I'm done hiding this. Tell her. I bust out like a little baby, snot, bawling it. I don't cry by no time. That was my little bully. I couldn't face her and tell her that I was in there.
Tough moment, man.
Feds,
Shit, I
you know
wouldn't
what I
even
mean?
hell fucking yeah.
But look, I had just watched the dude because ironically, I started seeing because I got caught up with some dudes from Pittsburgh who I know and is my brothers to this day.
Right.
My little brothers, they was young. They was 21, I was 36. And they was out there, you know, doing their thing, living like grown men.
Right.
I don't like to speak of what people was doing and
Yeah.
doing, and I know you don't. So I ain't got to go into what
Yeah,
they
we
was
got-
some advanced little youngins though. You know, more advanced than I've seen them. And I got a lot of respect and honor for them because we fought that fight together. We was all in the same unit. So some of them came home and didn't make it. Some of them lost their life coming home. Some of them went back. But my main one, the co-defendant that I knew that I was in there, with,
Yeah.
he came home. He doing his thing. He working up
Good
in
for him.
Pittsburgh, doing his thing. Shout out to my man. I ain't gonna say his name, but shout out to him. But anyway, the point I'm making is, right, when I was in there, I was running into some of his homies that I would see when we was in Pittsburgh. One of which just came home from doing 12 and just got caught with an AR and some dope.
So he was in the
heroin
feds too.
city. Yeah, but look, I met him on the street. I see him in the county when we both in there now. He got a brand new case. Joker asked me, yo, can I use the phone? Because I can't call through. Can I call my kid mother and let her know what happened? He called, man. His kid mother put him on the phone with his son. His son 12, bro. He just did 12. He left when his son was like a baby. Bro, he did the same thing that I did 2 months later. That was before I balled out because I had to tell my daughter.
Yeah.
You watching grown men cry because you know you love your kid.
Of course.
But what is it about us that we make these decisions anyway? You see what I'm saying? And in that moment, I still wasn't changed. That didn't change me or nothing. It was just a moment. You know?
It was a moment.
Yeah, but at that moment, I knew I wasn't bailing out. And I knew shit got real.
So when they went and got you, did you go to trial for that case?
Yeah, I went to trial. So what happened originally is they was naming me the leader of the case because they knew I wasn't the leader of the case, but everything that got caught in the hotel, being that the hotel was in my name. So they needed me, and the feds is funny. In Jersey, if me and you get caught in the car with a kilo, I beat it because it's my car or it's your car, it doesn't matter. We both beat it.
Right.
Fruit of a poisonous tree, they gonna throw it out on both of us. That's the state. And the feds, it ain't like that. The feds, I could beat it. I could prove they planted it on me, but if you was there, you can't prove the same thing. You still got to go through the motions and get charged with a kilo that wasn't yours. You have no bearing if I get relief. And it's not like that in the state. Everybody get relief if one do.
Absolutely.
So they design these laws in the feds so we can't get around them.
No, so we can all go to jail.
Exactly. So now the room,
Conspiracy pulls in.
the room was in my name. Unbeknownst to me, they already got my young boys from Pittsburgh under investigation for a year. I meet them in Pittsburgh. I never even really get the chance to serve them. The night they caught me, I was bringing them a sample to a strip club like all the athletes and shit go to, cheerleaders in Pittsburgh. So that's what they caught. They caught him calling me saying, bro, I've been here all night. What's up, bro? I've been waiting. Come through. So now I'm like, all right, I'm coming now, bro, because we were taking long bullshit, right? So now we rushing out. They thought they was about to get the mother load off of us, but they didn't, right? We was coming out with a sample on us. So now they grabbed us up, put us in the county, all that. Fast forward, my little co-defendants finally get wrapped up. So when they brought me to the federal building that day to indict me, right? I actually went back to the county. I don't know why they told me to pack up because I went back. So when I get there, they call me out the holding cell. I'm in this room, high tech shit. I never seen this shit before. You know, it's my first time ever even thinking I would be in the feds. Like my town, we don't deal with feds. Feds don't come fuck with people in the borough, no matter how big it is. Right. Isaac Wright ain't get caught by the feds. Right. That was the county. You see what I'm saying? So they got this high tech shit in there. They take my fingerprints. So as I'm standing there, they like, bust the door. We got them coming in. They all coming in. Bro, I started seeing not only the police that been trailing me the whole 6 months I've been out there, I started seeing the places I seen them at. Casino, gas station. This dude was a hotel, the desk attendant for a while. These were feds walking in. And then they walked in my homies. At this point, I didn't know that the Pittsburgh guys that I met was even, this is why we're here. I'm thinking I got caught with some shit in this federal amount.
Right.
No, they walking my homies in there that I met from Pittsburgh. So now I'm like, what's going on? And then it just triggered in my head, like, I don't know about nobody else, but just certain things just triggering me. So right then and there, I said, well, let me stand up and look at them all in their face, because I only knew 2 of them. The rest of them I had seen, but they bringing in 30-something people. I don't know what's going on, but I ain't hiding my face. What's up? What's up? Because I don't know what's going on. So as they walking past, I'm like this, getting figured, what's up? I don't know what's going on. So that's how it be. You be lost.
Yeah, you be like, how fuck it is.
So now,
what's what? Yeah. Who's who?
Now we go in the courtroom. They arraign us. Guess who I see? The same state attorney my man hired. He come over. I'm like, what are you doing here? He like, I could be a federal lawyer too. Don't worry about. I said, don't he still owe you money? Don't worry about that, because the case is fed now. All right, so what about the money he gave you? Where'd that go if you taking this case for free? He's like, listen, don't worry about that now. You want me to represent? I said, yeah, just get this over with. Represent me.
Yeah, he was on it.
Yeah, he was on it. Yeah. And I a bunch of lawyers over there trying to shop for people who want to, you know, it's like you in the market, bro. It was 13 of us in there, and you got lawyers over there like you in the market. So now I get him as my attorney. He swears himself in as my attorney. I plead not guilty. She read off the time. So my co-defendant sitting right next to me. He talking to me, but I'm like, I'm black, and I'm like, what the hell is going on in here? I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, shit going.
Right? I'm in this big room, bunch of microphones. We all in front of a mic. So finally, she started reading off what the charges were. Possession of 700 grams or more heroin. That carries from 40 years to life. Mr. Drew, we see you got a prior, so you're more towards the life end. She in there talking like this. Now we got the conspiracy to buy or sell a kilo or more. You're looking at life on that if convicted, right? So I'm just like, so my co-defendant like, yo, bro, you heard what she just said? I said, man, I ain't paying no attention to that shit. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. I really didn't hear nothing that woman said, man. Like in a sense that it needed to affect me or make me any more scared than I probably was. Nah, I ain't worried about that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And boy, did I. You know, as much as I can, I'm getting game from people who, I'm finding people who already lost their trial, so they don't mind
they
kicking
putting
it,
you on, hell yeah.
But I ain't kicking it too much, and they telling me, yo, watch what you tell people, you know. So I start working that little kiosk, and what saved me, mind you, I'm on a 9th grade education, bro. That don't make me stupid, but according to American standard, according to that Boston University USDA who ass I kicked in that courtroom, I'm not supposed to know this stuff.
Facts.
And it's very hard. Like, I never learned state law. I just knew I come from a corner of people that act like they do. You see what I'm saying? So now I'm in there, I get something called the Georgetown Law Book. I could not find nothing reading my paperwork that represented my case. I got the Georgetown Law Book. And to you guys out there, if you listening, the Georgetown Law Book is a key in trying to fight your case, any case, especially when you don't really know what they did. The Georgetown Law Book has scenarios, and then they give you case law to back those scenarios. Georgetown Law Book. They always renew it. That's what saved me. I got that book, and I started seeing what they did. The first thing I had to deal with is how my case was state, and then it ended up fed. And that's when I learned something else that I hear a lot of guys say the feds picked up my case. Feds can't pick up nothing. Either they were already there using state presence as a cloak, or the state actually forfeited the case over to the feds. The only case a fed can take is one that takes place on federal ground.
Okay.
A state is not federal.
So all that, they picked it up.
Nah, that's felonious, man.
Yeah.
That's felonious. That's what
us
we
talk.
hear. That's us talk.
That's
you
us
know?
talk, yeah.
So now I figured that part out. I figured out that they can't do that. They also went to a state judge. Now, they can go to a state judge. In the event they try to go to a federal judge and they're not available. The words say reasonably available. So they got all these laws to protect them, right? Because they could get around that very easily. So now they had a lady named Jill Rangos sign my warrant 12 o'clock at night while they got me sitting in the hotel. I couldn't prove it because the guy at the hotel in Pittsburgh, here's another thing. Y'all dudes moving around. I'm not trying to warn nobody. What I'm doing is I'm trying to help you understand that this is a lose-lose situation.
There's no getting out of this shit.
Yo, the hotel guy was in on it with the feds, and he been in on it with the feds for 20 years, bro. I couldn't get I could have been home if I could have just showed on a camera that they sat me there, didn't have a warrant, went and got to work, and then she came back talking about, I got it, let's go. She went out, made a phone call. The lady she made a phone call to was not only in the jurisdiction that I got caught in, but she was a state judge. Now, they can do that, but they got to first go to a federal judge. They didn't do it. They circumvented the process. So that's called Rule 41B. When I finally brought it up to my attorney, he didn't even know it existed. The prosecution and them, they laughed at me in the courtroom like I didn't know what I was talking about. Another thing they did is they kept saying source of information in the affidavit. They were drawing an inference to the judge that they had a snitch instead of letting her know they had a wiretap.
Right, you had a CI.
Exactly. They didn't have a CI because CIs is always grounds for getting a warrant.
Right.
So they like the front, like they're not going to say they got a wiretap because now the judge want to know more about the case. Remember, they got a state shield over it, but it's a federal case. You see what I'm saying? Because once it becomes federal, once the wiretaps get involved. If it's a Title 21 federal wiretap, then it was always federal in nature, but you got to go prove that. And they don't expect some little black dude from where I come from to come in there and figure that out, bro. And I don't know how I figured it out, but I got to the answer. And that was the first thing. So I started reading cases out of Cali. United States versus Cruz. He had the similar situation. They caught him with a bunch of kilos out there, and they kept saying source of information when they never had a snitch. They had a wiretap lying to the judge. You cannot lie to the judge if you want a warrant. You got to lay it out for the judge and let her determine whether or not the evidence you got
is good enough
for a warrant. So they don't give the judge that ability when they lie. So now I got United States versus Aisha McCain. Some girl out of San Francisco got caught with 1,000 birds of liquid crack. All of these cases, Pete, was in the prosecution's argument. I got my fight from the prosecution. See, they're so arrogant that he was putting these cases in there, but only using the parts that benefit them.
Yeah.
I'm reading the whole cases, and I'm finding out I finally found somebody's story that's like mine. Yeah, I ain't get caught with no 1,000 birds of liquid crack, but the story is the same. She beat hers in district court. Normally, you can't use district court cases, especially coming from Cali. I could use one from Pittsburgh because I'm in Pittsburgh, but not from Cali. He used it. So that first lawyer I had, the one that begged to be my lawyer, I tells him about it. First of all, man, this dude, he used to try to get me to tell so much, man, that I just stopped liking him. And he stopped when I finally told him. I said, listen, I'll take 30 if you let the other two go. I remember I told him, and I joke about this with him all the time. I'll take 30 if you let the other two go. He said, why you think this a game? I said, because it is. What else is it? Ain't y'all outside laughing? Ain't y'all about to go to lunch after y'all decide my fate and laugh? So it is a game. Why ain't no game now? So by that, I just wanted to send a message to that prosecutor. Let's get it on. Don't come playing with me. How much time you got for me? So now I went to Jersey, had to deal with the Jersey case. They moved me in a dog kennel, bro. I rode 19 hours in a stainless steel dog kennel with 15 other people. So people wonder why I changed. It was a lot of reasons why I changed. They came and got with some private transport people from Texas, came and got us, put us in a van that was stainless steel, 5 on each side, just enough room for you to stand up, bent over, and the other person got to move a little bit so he could let you stretch out. Why I change?
Shit.
Why I need to keep going through that, right? So
Facts.
now I get to Jersey case, just so happened, I'm DJing that too. I went to the hole in Pittsburgh because I got myself involved in some bullshit stuff where a dude got beat up really, really bad, right? So I end up in a hole. I get out the hole because I use the hole. I'm from Jersey. What do you think I'm doing fighting with Pittsburgh dudes? That was Pittsburgh beef. So I get out the hole. But when I was in the hole, I got my Jersey paperwork. Now I'm in there working my Jersey paperwork. Figured that situation out, right? By the time I got back, a letter followed me. I beat the Jersey case, right? So now I beat the Jersey case. I don't have that hanging over me no more because they could have gave me life if I would have lost that case or copped out of anything.
Right.
So now when I get back, I said, so you guys never offered me nothing. What do you offer me? So he said 262 months. And that's when I decided to go to trial. I said, I ain't taking nobody's 262 months. Let's go, you know? And the lawyer I had at the time, I fired him because he went in there and misrepresented the rule that I stated for him. He went in there and said Rule 40, and the prosecutor laughed at him. So at that point, I fired him. I fired him. I got a new lawyer that was a dog. And he told me straight up. He said, yo, because at that point, all of my motions had got quashed, meaning they denied them all, right? So now at this point, all I could do is put in reconsiderations. Reconsiderations is like, you might as well not even put them in. What you're trying to do is you're trying to put on record that at least you asked for it. So when you go up for appeal, you could use whatever they said against them too. Because whatever you don't put on record, you can't use an appeal, obviously. Putting it on record, whether you say it in a courtroom or whether you put it in a motion, has to be on record. So they denied all my motions. That was my fight. Something ironically happened that was a benefit to me and bad for somebody else. The two dudes that I came up there with who eventually testified against me, they told on that plug. And when they brought the plug in, they superseded the indictment. So the superseding indictment means I get re-indicted. So of course I'm nervous. Like, what am I getting, new charges? They like, no, you got to get re-indicted again because somebody got brought into the indictment. You shouldn't have nothing new. You should know if you got something new, right? So they bring him in, you know, shout out to my man. He's still doing his time. Shout out to him, right? They bring him in, and now I didn't know, but my old head, who I used to be in the law library with all the time, only 4 of us out of 600 people in that joint, bro. Only 4 of us be in the law library every day. So sad as shit, bro. Sad, everybody on everything but that paperwork, bro, but that law work. So listen, right? And you got all the resources because at this time they moved me to what do they call it? A sentencing jail, a detention. Now you got resources. I got a computer now. I ain't looking at the kiosk no more.
Right.
So I'm in there, my man said, yo, you know what that superseding mean, right? He said, what? He said, yo, you could put in all new motions. I said, what? He said, bro, you could put in all new motions. Pete, it wasn't until then that I really figured out what they did. Me and my new lawyer, Marty Dietz. Shout out to Marty Dietz from Pittsburgh. Marty Dietz, man. It's my guy to this day. I call him at least twice a year. Listen, Marty Dietz came in and said and looked at what I had. He said, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm going to put the wiretap stuff on record, but I'm not about to sit here and waste my time arguing wiretaps. He said the U.S. government ain't giving up nothing on wiretaps. I'm telling you now. He said that's their baby, and they ain't touching that. He said all this other stuff, we going in head first. You know what I'm saying? So now we got the Rule 41B violation where they circumvented, went and got the state warrant. We got the fact that they lied and said they had a snitch when they didn't, right? So now I'm going in here, all type of stuff was wrong with the warrants. The numbers were wrong, no signatures. None of that stuff worked in the feds.
How long you was in jail already?
At this point, I'm in jail for like 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? The Jersey joint got beat. Now I'm feeling like some weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, because now you can just
I was
concentrate on
facing
this.
20 there too.
Yeah,
And they wasn't going to run that together.
right.
They don't run that together. You know? So now I got these points. Marty goes in there and argues them like a dog. I get them to admit in a motion hearing that everything they did on purpose. So this how the feds work. If you prove that a Fed is lying, not only do you have to prove that he's lying, you have to prove that that lie was material or the reason why the judge gave him a search warrant. That's the first thing you got to prove. Then you got to prove that he knowingly lied. Look how they play games. So that means this. If a cop got a partner and he go tell a partner, Pete got some drugs in his car, the partner act off that, get the drugs, you arguing in court, in federal court, you think you're going to beat it.
Right.
They're going to say, nah, because he told them. He told them. So now I got to prove that they knowingly lied. I got to prove all of this shit is called Frank versus Delaware.
Okay.
Where it's 3 prongs you got to prove. In the state, you just proved the lie, bro. That's it. You can have unsigned search warrants in the feds. Prosecutors got immunity. It's a lot going on, man.
There's a lot going on in
It's
the feds.
unbeatable, bro.
Nah, you can't beat the
like the
feds.
guys with all the money, they ain't got a clue. They done been paying for lawyers for years.
Not knowing their asses, it don't matter, man. The feds is the feds.
Yeah, I ain't gonna see no names. I was in there with the biggest of them, and
Yeah.
they home now because of Obama.
Yeah.
But they've been paying for lawyers for years, and these dudes been locked up since the 80s.
So how much time you want to do 'em?
I end up getting,
You went to trial.
yeah. So now I'm going through the motion hearing. I fucked them up in the motion hearing.
Okay.
I got them to admit that they really did everything that I said.
Right.
Right? Now I got this shit on record. My lawyer couldn't believe they said it. I told him, go back and read the transcripts. That was the whole crux of the fight right there. So now I go to trial, opt out to go trial. First, my man that they brung in to plug and superseded, and another kid from Pittsburgh, they was gonna go to trial too. But then the feds played dirty. The other kid was on a separate indictment from us. He got guns and kilos of other shit.
Right.
Now they want to try to bring the indictments together just to bring us to trial. So what that does is that puts my garbage bag of heroin, his kilos, his guns,
In the same bag.
and the plug, who they caught on a cruise ship and stopped the cruise ship. They
Right.
put all of us in the same. So me, I'm like, whatever. We fought against it. That you can see that online too. We fought against it. We didn't win. They do what they want, right? They opted not to go, which was cool because I never had, like, my misery don't love company. So I went, and I lost. I got 20 years and 2 years for management role.
Okay.
But the good thing about it was all of my fight for appeal was already done. Only thing I had to do is see if they violated anything in trial. And they didn't violate nothing in trial. So fast forward, man, they gave me a dog of a PD, Maria Pulzetti out of Philly. I got sentenced and they sent me to Farrington.
Okay.
I went to Farrington over here in Jersey. And all of my appeal was already in. So at this point now it's about development of self. You know, people, always ask me how you do it. I'm gonna tell you one way I did it. One way I did it is by knowing I'm gonna do it. And a lot of people may not understand that type of strict conviction, but I knew I had him. I knew him from day one. He'd been on the phone with me the whole time. I knew that my fate went for me to do 22 years. I just knew it. And knowing it every day was the hardest part, not figuring out the law. Getting up in the morning and fighting off when your cellie got life plus 60 next to you and he a good dude. The other dude next to you got 40 years and this is for drugs.
No, it's real.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I know this shit about to happen. To the point where I go to all the jailhouse lawyers that couldn't get themselves out, and I let them read my fight just so they could pick it apart. Fed's So Vicious, one of my guys, shout out to his name Joe Crack. They call Joe Crack too. He from Newark. Yeah. Of course we don't really get Joe Crack from, but shout out to my man. Joe Crack had, I think, 20 years, went to the judge, argued with it. Now it's a difference if you get sentenced based on a mandatory minimum and they give you all they could give you, whatever, that's whatever. But when you get sentenced and a judge has something to do with that, meaning the judge is the reason why you got a certain amount of time, then you want to be careful putting in reconsiderations, especially with the feds. So Joe Crack goes back in and says the sentence was wrong, 20 years. He comes back with 30. That's how they do. And this is firsthand. This is facts.
You like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So Joe Crack was one of my devil's advocates. Nah, saying I ain't gonna. I seen it. I ain't gonna work. Saying okay, all right. So what I need to do? All right, boom. So when you fighting the feds, you got to figure out. You got to look for cases that lost because there's not many that won, and you got to see why they lost. And then I had to cut off every area of falling into that same trap.
Right.
So now my appeal goes up. I'm waiting on their brief. Their brief never come. I get called to the management office in the unit. Your lawyer's on the phone. She tell me, hey, the Pennsylvania USDA is on the phone. I'm like, all right, what's up? She said, well, there's been a break in your case. I'm like, what happened? She said, they concede with you. I'm like, what that mean? I knew what it meant, but I needed to hear it again. She said, they agree with your argument. And they're willing to readjust your time. I said, so what they talking? She said, 10 years. I said, what you want, go back to trial? She said, well, Mr. Drew, 10 years. I said, I'm not going to do 10 years. I'm not doing 10 years. Y'all lost. What else y'all got? So then they kept, whatever. They was worried about me keep playing with them. So finally, my cellie, they brought it down to 7.5. And my cellie said, man, take that damn time, man. Stop playing with them people.
Fuck yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to take that time. So I took the time, took a residential program to get more time off, went to Fort Dix, right?
Okay.
And then,
right here in Jersey.
Yeah, went right here in Jersey. And then from there, man, I got my readjusted sentence and came home. But the whole time I was in there, I know this audience, and I really wanted to let them know that it's a lose-lose game, man.
Absolutely.
And if you plan when you get out, then you plan to go back. Plan while you in there, man. Plan while you in there. You know what I'm saying? And in the feds, it was so much you could get into. Dice games, sports betting, liquor, whatever you want to do. It's so much to do in there. And start shaving that stuff before you come home. Start shaving that stuff. Stop stealing out the kitchen and making money because you still got the hustling mentality. You about to go home. Stop making excuses to break all the little laws.
Facts.
Because don't nobody owe you nothing. And that's one thing that kept me home. What kept me home is understanding that I had to be humble. If I come home playing Superman, I'm going to put my back against the wall. I'm going to be right back at it again. But after going through that fight and actually opening the system up and seeing it for what it was nowhere in the world I was coming home to play that silly-ass game again.
Hell no. So when you came home?
I came in 2018. I came home knowing how to trade stocks, options, knowing all about economics, LLCs, credit. I came home fortified to my mother's couch. I came home to my mother's couch. And this is the only thing I kept. I don't care about blasting no snitches. I don't care about doing none of that shit. This is what got me home. Not worrying about no snitches. This is my fight, no lawyer, me. So once I did that, and a person introduced me to the stock game, coming from where we come from, normally I would have been intimidated. I'm on one now. You see what I just did? Oh, yeah, I could learn stock.
How long you been home?
Since 2018, October. I came home on my daughter's birthday.
Wow.
I came home on her birthday, Pete.
Look at that shit.
Pete, that was real, Pete. But Pete, the second call was she had to come up to Farrington and found out I just got 22 years. I told them, let me tell her that too.
Right.
She come up crying.
Yo, call me. Come on.
You've
been through it, man.
She was crying so much that the people in the visit hall started crying. No bullshit. Ladies like, oh, y'all got to stop. I said, listen, wipe your tears. I don't know where this come from. I had been researching to see how long it take for appeals to come due, and the longest one I seen was 2.5 years. I looked at her, Pete. I said, I'll be home in 2 years. I promise you. I said, Ma, you too, wipe your face. I'll be home in 2 years. I don't need that I come home in 2 years. I came home on her birthday, bro.
Yeah, that was a big blessing.
I got the
Needed
video.
that.
I got the video.
That was cool as hell.
Word up.
That was pretty cool,
Definitely, man.
So you've been home since.
Yeah.
Let's talk about all the good things you've been doing, brother.
Hey, so taught over 5,000 people about stocks, options, economics, how to trade. That's what I do for a living now.
Okay.
I did come home, I got a job and everything, obviously. I had a plan to live with my mother for 2 years. It only lasted for 6 months, luckily.
Okay.
And I've been working my plan ever since, man. I was one of the toughest things, too, actually sitting down and writing out a realistic plan where you like, yo, in that plan, you come from being who you come from being, and then in that plan, you saying, I'm going to get a job no less than $13. You setting your limits, you setting your goals, because you got to be realistic. I don't have no certifiable skill sets.
Absolutely, yeah. So
I
you
don't
got
have no degree.
Yeah. So you got to go away.
And the guys in the feds with the degrees was getting their head bust. The money manager dudes messing up money, they coming home, they can't even work in finance no more. How you think they feel? How you think they feel? They can't even get money where they known to get money at no more.
Let me ask you a question about how you feel about prison reform.
I think it's felonious, man. I think it's cosmetic, and I think the people who started it is getting money from it. And I hope they hear me. They follow me. I follow them. I met the people. I ain't got nothing against the people themselves. But the structure of it all, why would I reform prison? I need to reform the men in prison.
Facts.
They going over there argue about the right laws. Federal government need to do away with the conspiracy law. It done enough damage. They need to do away with the mandatory minimums. It done enough damage.
Enough damage.
People getting 20 years in the feds for bodies. You get forever for coke and heroin.
It's crazy.
So prison reform isn't really putting a dent in anything for me, because first of all, from what I see, it's full of people that don't understand the system. I understand the system because I fought it, at least from my standpoint. And I understand it enough to know I ain't messing with it no more.
That's a fact.
And I understand it enough to know that if I wanted to be a part of, if I'm a part of that conversation and what needs to be done, I know what needs to be said because I lived through it.
Absolutely.
And these people be surrounded by people who telling them frivolous stuff. These are the people that tell us that act like they speaking up for us, but subliminally they're keeping us where we are because they publicly state things in our defense like they can't even get jobs. Who said? I've been going to jail all my life and got any job I ever wanted except a police, a post office worker, or anything where you can't have a criminal record and get a job.
True.
So now, if you are the person that I look to be prominent, important, you the voice of the people, right? You speaking for reform. When you say that, me being a criminal and somebody who don't want a job any damn way, I'm going to live in that truth. I'm already approaching that job with the mentality that I can't get it.
That's right.
So it looks like I can't get it. So they say, no, you can't work here. People want workers, man. They don't care where you come from these days. As long as you ain't take nothing from nobody,
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Workers. It's
you
true.
took some money or you took some bodily parts from people, they don't want you there. That's it, and you shouldn't be there.
That's right.
You took money or bodily parts, you can't come over here. But if you just yo, bro, we can get jobs. But these people put that loom out there, and then it keeps us in the position we are. So I was just having a conversation with a young lady because she know who I am. I was speaking somewhere in Brooklyn with my brother 19 Keys. Shout out to 19 Keys. And the lady said to me, she said, my brother coming home, what's some advice you got for him? Because he told me, he don't want to work for the white man. So I paused and I said, she said, he want to be an entrepreneur. So what I know you came home and did your thing and you're doing your own thing. So I said, the first thing I could tell him is this. He already on his way back to prison. She said, why you say that? I said, because he cut his choices. He limited himself. He just said he don't want to work for the white man. First of all, whether you your own boss or not, the white man going to be somewhere with his hand out, homie. So first of all, like you was working for him, you was selling the cocaine. That's what I learned. That's why I ain't go back. Because I learned that we really hustling for the same motherfuckers that's locking us up. They getting all the money, bro. You could chat GPT that shit right now. There's no cartel that made more money off the federal government than the federal government off drugs, bro. None. So when I seen that fact, I refuse to be an idiot. That's just all it is. It's bulky. It gives you a hell of a lot of time. What the fuck? What am I doing with that?
Yeah, fuck
it doesn't take a genius to sell coke. It takes a plug. I was in there with the genius plugs. They was trying to figure out how I got out the right way.
Absolutely.
So that's the message I want to send to people. And that's why I'm glad you got this. And that's why I see when I was called, you know, by your producers, there's like, yo, bro, we don't glorify. I said, I'm glad. That's the space I need to be on because it's brothers that need to hear other stuff. That's prevention stuff, bro.
Yeah.
And no, I don't think reform is doing. It's all cosmetic. The people that's been involved don't know our struggle. Robert Johnson and these people, come on, bro, they billionaires.
Mental health is needed.
Yeah. Even Jay-Z at the helm of it. Come on, like no shot at Jay. I love Jay, but Jay, you ain't been on his side. You gotta go get with people that really fought. Y'all need to go get with Isaac Wright, the Akbar praise. Go get with the real people that understand the system if you're trying to reform it, man.
Facts.
And don't let it be just
get with dog in the yard.
Get with dog in the yard.
Because this is our foundations. This is our voice.
As a matter of fact, that's right.
All
our reform people. You on that reform trip? Then come on down here on Dog in the Yard. Let's talk about it.
That's
man.
what I'm talking about.
Let's
exactly.
talk about
it.
That's
exactly.
I really don't have a problem with it, but I have a problem with cosmetic things that don't really aim to make a difference.
Absolutely.
If it's just a check, then just say it's a check. You know, but just don't call me to speak because I don't do that. I'm just as I was in that courtroom, I am in real life. You know, they say you don't know who you are till you face a crisis. And I'll be sitting here lying if I told you in that county jail, it didn't cross my mind when that woman said what she said. And then it crossed your mind again. And you, at that moment, learn who you are. It ain't about being tough.
That's right.
It ain't about a badge of honor.
Talk to them.
Man, people got to know we done worse shit in the streets than snitch, bro.
Facts.
Like, I'd rather my man snitch on me than kill me over a kilo. Something that they growing out of the ground, something that you could go to Cali. It's never a drought in Cali. That's a hoax. It's never a drought in Cali, right? Yeah, I could go to Cali, get you one bird anytime, but you killed your man over it. That's worse than snitching? We got to be careful with this, like what goes in, what we inject into our minds, man, is principles and beliefs. You know? Yeah, I'm gonna be a stand-up dude to the day I die, but that's for me.
That's right.
That's because I like looking at me. I was in Pittsburgh. Wasn't nobody there to scold me for if I would have did that. Nobody would have known me because it was dudes that like me from other places because it's the melting pot of people coming from other places that did do it. Because they know they could go back to where they from and nobody don't know. Nah, I can't go back to where I'm from. I know.
That's right. You can't live with yourself.
Yeah, bro. And that accountability is what allowed me to fight because I ain't got nobody to blame. I was walking around there on my trip making phone calls to people to get stuff done to people, you know, and people and your friends and your family. Yo, do this, do that. Go, yeah. But then somebody stopped me. I ain't gonna say his name, but it's Russell Westbrook uncle. That was my cellmate. Nobody won't know who he is anyway. But very heavy when he was, you know, what he was in for. You know, I ain't put nobody out there. He's done, but he was heavy when he was out there. And he just told me, bro, he said, I see you walking around, look at your face, like you on the phone every 5 minutes. He said, man, they already did what they did, bro. You got to do what you do. And I said, what you talking about, man? He said, yo, you walk around worried about who told on you. He said, man, a heart full of hate creates a mind full of confusion, young brother. He said, you ain't gonna never figure your way out this case. He said, especially as hard as it is to do anyway. And he was one of the $250,000 lawyer guys flying out from Cali to come down here for him. And he taught me.
Look at that
Because
shit.
the other 8 co-defendants, nobody told. The other 8 co-defendants, they all got the same time. Why you pay $250?
I mean, you know, that fat shit right there, it don't matter what lawyer
Yeah.
you have.
So I hope if anybody took anything from this peep, man, they really learned that it's a no-win situation. And another thing, man, you can't.
Yeah, talk to them. Talk to them young brothers out there.
You can't plan from home. You got to plan in there. You got to break away. You got to pull away from that energy. I halfway did it the first time and came home half-hearted. As soon as I got back with my homeboy, I found myself going to deliver some work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And now I'm back in the jam that I never thought I'd find myself in.
That's just the way it is, man. It's just the way life goes when you chose to go back on that same circle.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, listen, so I did mention that I'm a stock market educator, and I know a lot of us where we come from, we need to learn something new. So y'all tap into Wise Money at Wise Money Academy on IG. Tap into the Real Money Experience on YouTube. And also, if you tap into the wisemoneyacademy.com, I got free resources on there for y'all to read. Read those resources, get that information, man. Let's start elevating our minds, man.
Well, Wise Money, I appreciate having you, brother.
No doubt, bro. I appreciate being on here,
pleasure,
man.
You drop some jewels
Definitely.
on these young brothers out there and sisters.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And we're going to continue to fight the battle. You already know. It's dog
Dog
in the yard.
You already know.
We out of here.
No doubt.
Appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, bro. That was dope.
That was dope. Yeah,
That
I
was
let you
real
ride. Most of the time I talk a lot, but you was
Hey,
right.
listen,
What up? You already know. Your boy Pistol Pete. Welcome back to Dog of the Yard. First and foremost, I want to salute Wise Money for coming through. Keep doing your thing, my brother. Like I always say, knowledge is to be shared. I love what you do. Keep impacting, the young brothers and sisters out there, teaching them what they need to do in order to be somewhat successful in life. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy. Me and you been through a lot of the same path. I looked at you when we sat down. I was like, wow, this brother been kicked out of multiple schools. His mother, was, try her best to do her best for her child. And I had the same story, my brother, man. I want to salute you, man. I want to thank you so much for coming through and keep doing your thing. You already know it's your boy Pistol, Dog in the Yard.
Welcome to Infinity of Inglewood. My name is Antonio. I'm the business manager. After you purchase your vehicle from our sales department, you come back and see me. My job is to make sure to get you the best interest rate and best financing as possible. We get everyone approved. We also offer extended service plans like warranties, gap insurance, and tire and wheel to secure your loan. Our operating hours here are from 9 to 8, Monday to Thursday, 9 to 6, Friday and Saturday, and we're off on Sundays. Our phone number here is 201-429-9800. And we're also located in 60 Rockwood Place, Inglewood, New Jersey. Our job is to make our clients happy, so come on by and check us out.
Dog in the Yard is about second chances. I bring those same opportunities to real estate, not only here in Tampa Bay, but throughout the entire United States. I'm Gustavo Torres with Florida's First Choice Realty. I make real estate moves simple and stress-free, helping families and individuals like yourself find stability through buying, selling, or investing. From the yard, straight to your front yard.
Whipping it, skirting the bands. She wanna pay up, cause of my chain. Stay out of my lane. Play at my charm, it be a rap. Hear that clickety clap. Unloading the clip, just hitting your frame.